Hello everyone and welcome back to the BUSR Winter Series. It is round 4 of the championship. We're in Ginetta GT4 cars and we are off to the Norisring in Germany, and I'm joined by Ozzy. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. It's a shame my Blue Jays lost the World Series, but I'm not going to let it get me down. It was a great series for me to have watched and witnessed. But yeah, no, for the most part, I'm doing great. And Norisring. I I don't know how the heck this is going to go down, but I mean, burnout was definitely, a lot of twists and turns, but it's like this is basically burnout, but at the speed of Martinsville in NASCAR, not very fast.
Yeah, just looking back at the previous tracks, we have Alton Park, which has got 17 turns. Then we went to Sonoma, 12 turns. Brno, 14 turns. Norisring has 8. However, if you actually look at a track map, it's more like 4, possibly 3. So yeah, it is very NASCAR-esque, just with a banked with hairpins rather than banked turns. I encourage you to go and find a picture of this track because it is an interesting piece of tarmac built on a German motorway just outside Nuremberg in the 1950s. Basically, it's a motorway stretch with a hairpin followed by a second motorway stretch, a short chicane, some more motorway, and then another hairpin. It's an incredible piece of tarmac, evidently invented by a man who loved a ruler and not a lot else. And it promises to be very tight. It's a street circuit. It's got basically no runoff absolutely anywhere. So I think it's going to be one of attrition, should we say?
And I think the 2 hairpin turns. I guess you could say this track is akin to a paperclip of sorts. Matter of fact, I bet you I could probably bend a paperclip into that shape if I have one in my drawer at some point.
Yeah, I think paperclip is a good sort of thing, and of course qualifying will be a very crucial area because there's not many places to pass, so there's not many corners. Lap times will be quite low, sort of under a minute sort of mark, depending on where the drivers are in the field. So expect a lot of laps to be done in the race. Now, as we head over to qualifying, you can see there the cars run basically down one side of a German motorway and then back down the other one. Here we are with Aiden Larson, currently P3 in the overall championship, has done incredibly well so far. Just needs to keep up his pace, maybe recover a little bit. Didn't have the greatest of showings out at Brno circuit. Hopefully he can get his form back on track now and catch up for our championship leaders. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting qualifying.
Yeah, no, and I guarantee you, especially with the battle that we saw between him and Lorenzo Gualtieri, especially in the second race, I bet you right, there's going to be a bit more of that coming along. And I know Aiden is probably, I know he's very good about his losses, but at some point you got to think to yourself, at one point, does he want to, get another taste of that glory? The back-to-back, that whole sweep that he had back at Alton Park in the first session.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be thinking about getting more than one win here, especially as so far we have not seen Lorenzo join this race. So, you've got to think his main title rival is out of the picture right now. His rival is on pace in terms of the points now, assuming the standings I'm looking at are accurate. He's actually currently in 3rd place behind Kessus as well. So Kessus is also qualifying in this session, so will be racing, which means that he is going to be looking to mainly make room get past Kessus and then catch up to Lorenzo overall, as we see our first representation lap time from Archie O'Leary there of a 54-second lap time. So yeah, well under a minute. It's going to make for some interesting racing.
Certainly will. And something to note as well, Aiden Larson was a no-show during Sonoma, so it could make things a bit more competitive if he were to get first place in at least one of our 2 sessions, as well as we got action still on Larson here. Dachkoy seems to be the provisional pole as we're heading on into the rest of this practice session. And like with weeks past, I've still got to get back into my groove. I guarantee you I will. But expect to see some lap times less than a minute. I would love to see one that's under 50 seconds as well.
Yes, we've seen our first couple lap times coming in under the 54-second mark, which is definitely rapid pace for this track. It's still a good 1.5 miles long. So, oh, there we go. Lovely shot there for Aidan. That is his qualifying lap over already. And we've already seen crashes there with Caleb Tate and Aidan Larson. And we're not even 5 minutes in to the session.
Cracking start.
When you look at the track map and you think, good gosh, this has got like Monza Turn 1 combined with a Monaco hairpin. It's going to be an interesting one. Speaking to there's 3 places to brake. The only 3 braking zones. I reckon we'll see crashes in all 3 of them.
Yes, and as I was telling you before we started the broadcast, that turn 2, I was telling you, is very akin to a Michigan left, as we call it, near Detroit. Basically, just a one-way, 2 one-way streets separated by a barracks, and then you've got only certain places where you're able to, pop a U-ey to go in the opposite direction. It's like an interstate, but you actually have the ability to make a U-turn. Definitely,
yeah, it is. It's an interesting corner. I have driven this circuit many moons ago in various other racing games and stuff, and it was sketchy as anything back then, let alone in competitive GT4 racing. I was doing it against AI, so I just kind of punted them, but these guys are actual humans. You really shouldn't be punting them, or else the stewards might come down on you with fire and fury. Lap time's still not improving for our top couple of drivers now there. We're starting to see more be put into place. We're still waiting for Aidan Larson's first lap. Obviously, he had a crash we saw on screen. Here's Adam Bent, not set a lap time either. His best lap time was a 3:50, which feels like he's got a bit of room to improve there across the track. Only had 3 turns.
I would agree, definitely a bit of room to improve. Also, I was actually trying to bend this paperclip into the shape of Norisring, and I tried to do that turn 2 hairpin. The thing snapped. That is how tight that hairpin is.
There you go. We have a corner so tight that it's literally tighter than a hairpin, than a paperclip can withstand. Yeah. That is how tight this circuit is. And a little touch of the wall on his first lap, or his second lap, sorry, the last lap was a 55.5 now. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one with given how tight turn 1 is. I do think there is good odds we'll see a monumental pile-up. At least a little pile-up in there. Aidan Larson now coming towards the end of his first representational lap. A little bit of traffic ahead. Hopefully that won't impact his lap too much. He's coming up towards the line now. He's done very well in the first sector. Quite a good second sector. He's coming towards it. I don't know where the line is. It appears to be there. There we go. Straight to pole position for Aidan Larson. Easy pickings for the Australian. 1/4 second gap to the car behind. You've got to think there's room to improve on that lap time for him there as well.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect anything less, especially with purple sections in the first and third of the race as well. Very well done. A significant improvement. He was down at last place. He just goes last to first in a snap of my fingers, and it's it shows you just how well he can improve and take first place, especially in qualifying. But I hope this will translate to the race itself, because you can only do so well in qualifying before you waste a bit of energy just trying to get that first place, get that pole position. It's being able to hold on to it as well, which we've seen Aidan Larson very much can do so, not just in a single race, but over the course of multiple races in a single session. And if he's able to do that here, definitely going to put some pressure on Lorenzo Gualtieri for the overall standings. And as we saw them going in Burnau, any battle between them is akin to this recent World Series between the Blue Jays and Dodgers. It is competition down to the wire, and it is entertaining. Absolute brilliance from both sides, as we've got action on Cassis here as well, coming in across the couple of turns on the, I believe that's the northern side of the track, coming in to the next session. And it's a gap of 254 thousandths of a second between Aidan Larson and Dachkoy. Thomas Hughes is 15 thousandths of a second behind Dachkoy. So yeah, very close times. We've not seen a single racer to pull away from the group, and I'm curious to see if there is one to gain a substantial lead. I wonder who it's going to be. My guess might be Aidan Larson.
Yeah, there's definitely lap time out there. Obviously, Aidan's got an improvement in the second sector, but not an improvement. Oh no, that was an improvement overall. Sorry, we got it appears to be an improvement overall for Aidan there. As we see lap times are coming in Yeah, no one's improving really at the moment. We're sort of at that weird halfway stage in qualifying. Everyone's putting their banker laps, but it's not yet pushing to the absolute maximum. But I'm sure we'll see that now. Sam Knight down in 13th would be his best qualifying of the year, well, season so far, if he could keep this to the end of the session. Lovely livery there, covered in all the different paint splatters. You might not recognise him from F1. He's on a bit of Lobby 1, a bit of Lobby 2. Now transferring over to these wonderful Ginettas. Quite handleable cars, GT4 cars by nature. They've only got 400 horsepower. I say only 400 horsepower. It's still 400 horsepower in a car that weighs 1 tonne. So they're definitely weapons. And as we've seen so far this season, to be quick in these Ginettas, you have to have them dialed to the absolute maximum. You need to have them on a knife's edge. Shouldn't be too much of a problem around here. The corners are quite slow because they're very tight. Through faster corners, though, you might start to see a bit of risk.
Yeah, no, and that livery, absolutely, I agree with you. It's a great livery. It reminds me of the old Cartoon Network color scheme back here in the US, and it's just bright, vibrant, brilliant. As Sam coming across that little that hairpin, absolutely. You're gonna see my face absolutely gurning up every time a car just goes at high speed around there. Still a little bit of jostling in the rankings as well. We saw John B setting a personal PB in this server, as well as Archie O'Leary a couple of minutes ago. Right now, the gap between the top 5 is about a half a second, which is quite close, especially for a race of this caliber. But thinking about it as well, this is Norisring. You're going to see some. You're going to be seeing some very similar times. There's not much margin for error, so you're not going to see as much variation. I feel like I just contradicted myself in that last rambling, but at this point it doesn't really matter. We're still in qualifying, and we're just about to pass the halfway point. Currently, Aiden Lawson in first, with Dachkoy a tenth of a second behind.
Yeah, definitely. There's not many places to make up time, but equally there's not many places to lose time, so that's going to help us get a nice compact grid. And you have to think, lovely bit of oversteer there. Aiden just getting the car rotated around nicely. Doesn't look to be improving this lap, but you never know. We might see a wonderful last sector from the Australian man, currently P3 in the championship standings, on pole position for the 4th round of the season. Comes up towards the line, and it is not an improvement. It's very close. So he's definitely consistent in his lap times, which is what you need to be winning a 20-minute plus 1 lap race. Of course, we have 2 races here, so there's multiple chances for different drivers to get near the front, especially as the second race is a reverse grid race, which you have to think is going to play an even bigger role at such a tight, narrow track like Norisring.
Not to mention the field size in this session is at 16 for now. So that means there's going to be a bit more of an incentive for someone at the back of the pack, the very back of the pack, given they don't, get lapped by 15th place to, at least get some, get some extra position up, just so that you can start out in pole position in the next race and just have that natural advantage. But yeah, no, having a higher incentive to get in 10th place, given that last place is only so far away, is definitely good. I think that's going to be a big factor, especially in battling with the back half of the pack. We'll see a bit of that as it looks like Adam Bent. Did he crash into that sign there? I think he might have. But Adam Bent kind of had an unremarkable campaign so far, but to see him in, hovering around 10th and 11th, definitely would love to see him get some points. Our almighty race organizer.
Yes, he's of course the mastermind behind this whole championship. He is the organizer. He's the one that you go and annoy at 2 o'clock in the morning with your funny questions about what's a Ginetta. So I Adam, do go and annoy him with silly questions, because he is in charge of this whole operation. Currently sitting in 11th place in qualifying, up mid-pack of the overall table for him. Not been the most stellar season, but I think he's the kind of driver that usually sits around the back end of the top 10 in race 1. So if he can get an electric start in race 2, then I definitely think there's a good odds that we might see him somewhere near the front at such a track as this, assuming he can get the lap time together to give him a good start in race 1 and then just keep that pace rolling through. We're under 7.5 minutes now. We're getting closer to knowing who's on pole position with even more certainty than we might already do. The one advantage of this is that we're seeing a lot of laps being set. Adam's in the wall there, rear right in the wall, lap time aborted for him, gets out of the way, lovely. lovely well there for the car. A nice spin for someone, no idea who, but when we look at Dak Choi now, currently in second place. Closer to Aiden than we might be expecting. I think there's a good odds of this car getting very near the front of the field there. That was a 53.7, so a little bit down on their previous bests, but definitely an option for a podium, if not a race win for this car.
Yeah, and Dachko is one of the more sneaky racers, especially as of late. And Burnau, I believe there was at least one top 10 finish. I don't have those results pulled up, but Dachko has been showing some promise. They were a no-show in Alton Park at the very least, as they bang into the wall. Gotta love the commentator's curse. But no, I do think Dachko definitely has some skill. At this point, though, I'm curious, very, very curious to see if, that Lorenzo not being in the server here, what in the world is it going to take to stop Aiden Larson, and who could be that person to stop Aiden Larson? Because I honestly would love to see a new winner, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to deny that sort of skill. And I think at this point, seeing what Dachko has been doing, they definitely have a good shot at making it into first place. They actually just closed up the gap a little bit. It's about a 10th of a second behind Aiden Larson, so some good improvement late, despite a crash into the wall in the last lap.
Yeah, definitely. I think another thing to note is that, of course, there's a class system here. All the cars are identical, don't get me wrong. This is not like British GT or the World Endurance Championship. Everyone is in the same car, but there are different categories of drivers. There's the student class, the alumni class, and the open class, of course, by the British University Sim Racing League. So the lion's share of our population is of uni students, whether past or present. But that does mean that people like Dak Choi, Thomas Hughes, Eric Einarson, and Maris Dallas, they're all open class. They've come in from outside of the university sort of sphere. Well, that means that, when Lorenzo's not here, that means they've got a chance of getting a class win. So I definitely think that people like Josh Hughes, who's having a monumental shunt there into the chicane and ruined their lap, they've gone up to second place very sneakily by a very small margin.
Well, speaking of second places by people named Hughes, Tom Hughes is currently the person behind Lorenzo Gualtieri in the open class. He does have a second place finish to his name. He gets himself 32 points. Then he is tied with Lorenzo Gualtieri. And I bet you didn't. Oh, goodness, a little bit of a contact with the wall. Yeah, I bet you didn't think I'd get that segue in there. Reaching for the stars on that.
Yeah, we love to see it there. We've got a little bit of weaving from Josh Hughes. Now, one of three Hugheses. Yes, they are all related, but no, they're not all brothers. So if you hear me refer to them as brothers, that's just me being a spanner. Yeah, Thomas Hughes is doing very well in the open class. Josh Hughes and Alex Hughes, one of them's alumni, one of them is student. Josh is currently in second place in student class as well. So there's a lot of Hughes brothers, a lot of Hughes family members.
Yes,
brothers,
so
very near the front of their class. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, and Tom said in the post-race interview at Alton Park, him and Alex are twin brothers, and then Josh is their cousin, if I remember correctly. And yes, Josh is an alumni, Alex is a student, Tom is open, so they all have influence in one of the three classes, which is incredibly, it's quite funny to me as well. As we're looking at Alex in the British, green British livery as well, coming around. Goodness gracious, I need to get my ducks in a row with the times tables here. He's in third, or no, Alex is in. Yeah, you got me confused with my Hughes now. Alex,
I've got no idea. Which one's which. This one's the green one. This one's currently in seventh. In overall standings, this one is somewhere in about seventh or eighth, but in the student class, they are second, just behind Aiden Larson. They're not going to gain too many points on Aiden today, unless we see some mistakes. But equally so, they're definitely quite happy where they are. Currently second place. It's not bad. It's a podium in their class, overall top 10. So it's good standings now. We're starting to see qualifying come towards the end of the session. 2 minutes 40 on the clock now, which is probably enough time for about 3 laps, depending on where you are on the circuit.
I would say 4, maybe.
You might be able to scrape 4 if you're close to the line. As we see now, Aiden's still holding that pole position from one of the Hugheses, ahead of Dak Choi, ahead of the other Hughes, ahead of Eric Einarson now. Aiden coming round what appears to be the first of the hairpins that Grunduskern, I'm not going to try any German pronunciations after that absolute butchering, coming round turn 2, which is the first proper turn there, doesn't appear to be improving. this lap. We'll never know. We'll see what happens when he gets through the rest of it.
Yeah, no, and that was actually not too far off Grundig-Kara. Yeah, no, looking at Aiden Larson, still a 10th and 300ths ahead of Josh Hughes. And Josh Hughes and Dachkoy only separated by 0.003 of a second. That margin of error being so small as well as Aiden Larson coming across the line. I don't know. Are we going to see an improvement here? Kind of tough to tell just looking at the visuals. And it looks like for the time being, no, but still another couple of chances. He definitely will be able to scrape out another lap, barring any catastrophe. Looking at the live timing table, yeah, he must have had himself a orange section.
Yeah, it's not Aiden's best lap, but he's still got the pole position. He's still got the lead overall, so he's probably pretty happy, just trying to gain some ground if he can, or even just getting more practice laps in. Always good to get more practice in where you can, especially with how packed people's schedules are these days. I say that he's gone purple in sector 2. This is going to be a rapid lap with him. We might see an improvement here as he's coming out towards the final kink left of turn 8 down.
He's going to go for Ross Chastain, I reckon. Towards
the line, just narrowly avoiding the walls on all sides there, comes towards the start-finish straight. It's not an improvement. It's only 1/10 down. That is not an improvement for Aiden Larson. But we have seen Dak Choi going faster. There is other cars going quicker up and down the order. Here he is coming across the line. Dak Choi faster in sector 1, faster in sector 2. Takes pole position.
Wow!
We have a new pole sitter there. Dak Choi coming out of nowhere with 30 seconds left on the clock. Puts a 10th up on Aiden Larson right at the end. What a lap.
And what a time to do it as well, putting an immense amount of pressure on Aiden Larson. And yeah, that was just impressive stuff. Goodness gracious. Like, it's one thing to get an overtake on pole position. It's another thing to do it as overtime is just a few seconds away. That is absolute masterclass from Dachkoy. Beautiful stuff. And I wonder if Aiden Larson's going to be able to scrape any out of the tank and get some sort of improvement, at least to, get that pole position back. He's still going to be in the front row as we're watching Josh Hughes in the red British livery coming across the line. Is he going to improve? It looks like no. It looks like he had himself a 53.8 as that last lap. Looking now to Adam Bent, who is about to cross the line. 54.3, the time to beat. Is he going to improve? It looks like no. Had himself a 55.4. But absolutely brilliant stuff there from Dachkoy. That was just such a great lap. Such a great lap. Such a great time to do it. Such a good, way to let Aiden Larson know. Just because Lorenzo's not here does not mean that you are safe.
Definitely. Aiden definitely received that message. There we have the pole sitting car in the pit lane there with the lights are flashing as everyone else's is for some reason. Dak Choi is on pole for the first race of round 4 of the BUSR Winter Series with a 0.53.211. A good 10th up on Aiden Larson. It's an impressive number by any stretch of the imagination, let alone over such a short track. Aiden Larson obviously is in second place ahead of Josh Hughes and then Thomas Hughes straight behind him. Eric Einarsson, John B, Alex Hughes, Ben Choi, Kessers and Archie Leary finishes up the top 10 ahead of Vien Tran, Jordan Pinnock and then Adam Bent finishes off the top 13. So yeah, 2 races coming up with a surprise pole position is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, Sam Knight, Tim Mason, and Caleb Tate rounding out the pack as well. Got to give them their props as well. Yeah, and oh my goodness gracious, it's just that lap. You finding a way to scrape something out, especially on a track like Norisring, it says something about skill. And Aiden Larson, we know he's one of the front runners of the pack. He's won a race. Not just one, he's won an entire session as well. It's just you gotta be absolutely just clenched up, realizing that, like, oh my god, I guess Lorenzo isn't the only threat here.
We've got a race on our hands. What this means? This means there is definitely a race. There's no chance of Aiden running away and washing out, because he's got to get past at least one car into that very tight hairpin of turn 1/turn 2, depending on what numbering system you use. It's going to be an interesting pair of races. Both of them are 20 minutes plus 1 lap, which around here doesn't make a lot of difference. It's only 53 seconds, as we've seen, but it is still plus 1 lap at the end. 2 races, reverse grid for race 2. I mean, even the guys at the sort of the back end of the top 10, Ben Choi, Kessler, Archie, O'Leary, Vientran, they're going to be thinking about that reverse grid pole position. This track's
Very much.
Monaco, the Hungaroring, Macau Grand Prix circuit over in China area, sort of. It's one of those circuits where it's going to be tightly packed no matter how you do it.
Yeah, and the gaps between, from Ben Choi to Vientran, the gaps are 0.015, 0.046, 0.102, 0.116, just mere hundreds of seconds separating the back half of the pack. And given that, it is difficult to see, okay, if I'm going to guess who's going to be that, reverse pole winner. You can't tell who it's going to be at that point.
No, it's going to be almightily close. It may well depend on accidents. I mean, I don't want to commentate curse before we've even got cars moving, but I think this is going to be quite an incident-heavy couple of races of predicting big shunts into turn 2 and big shunts into turn 7, the 2 hairpins on the circuit. If you haven't pulled up a circuit map and you have no idea why we're already talking about 3 corners, pull up a circuit map and have a look at why we're already talking about 3 corners. It's basically a square with a tail on the end. There's not a lot going on really, which means that people are going to have to make moves into those tight corners, which is only going to create more carnage. And I'm all here for it.
Yep, and it's going to be that Michigan left. Just pull up an aerial view of actually any just single state highway in Michigan. If you want a good example, the M59, you'll look across, you'll see those Michigan lefts. That is what we are dealing with here on Norisring. You're trying to get around that much of a turn. You can't do that at high speed. Otherwise, you're just going to, it's like trying to go around a roundabout straight up. You're just going to go flying into the air and you're just going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if we see cars run well off into the runoff area at least at turn 1, turn 2, especially in the first couple of laps of the race. The cars are on the grid. We will be getting to racing action very soon here at the BUSR Winter Series for the 4th round of the championship. And we're not even halfway yet. We're not halfway yet.
Yeah.
Done this season. We've already had so much interesting racing, so much carnage, and we're going to get some more of it now with 2 20-minute races in Germany. And I'm very excited. Prediction-wise, I think it's going to be tough for Aiden not to win, but also Dak Choi is going to be so motivated.
I agree, and I think that there's going to be some pressure up from Josh and Thomas Hughes as well. I honestly don't know who to go for, but I am going to guess and say that it is probably going to be, I'm going to say Josh Hughes.
Josh Hughes from 3rd on the grid is the prediction we are hearing.
I'm going wild here. Famous words before disaster.
I'm going to go for a nice boring Aiden Larson, at least for race 1. We'll come to race 2 when we come to race 2, of course. It's a reverse grid. So no one's going to know really until we see who's in 10th place at the end of this race. We have cars on the grid. There are lots of lights that need to light up before we can get racing there. The clock counting down, just 10 seconds to race start. I am ready for this. This is going to be a thrilling race. Round 4 of the championship at Norisring.
Ferrari
1 winner, 15 losers in the Norisring. We are go for racing for the BUSR. Good start from the front 2 there. Lots of cars moving out of line, but some staying in for that slipstream. It's quite a decent run down to turn 1 there. Dak Choi holding the inside. Aiden Larson going around the outside, having a think about it. There's one of the Hugheses also having a look on the inside there. There's 2 Hugheses wide. We've gone 4 cars wide in the middle of the hairpin. Lots of collisions, but everyone still seems to be facing the right way. We're all okay coming out turn 2. Round the very fast turn 3 into turn 4. Aiden holding 2nd place ahead of the 2 raging Hughes cars. One of them's gone up the inside, the other. There's contact behind between a Hughes and Archie O'Leary. We've seen places lost for John B there, who's struggling in the mid-pack. By timing sheet is a light with crashes, but Dak Choi leads at the end of a very fast lap 1. There's moves for Thomas Hughes. No, there isn't. Back out of it at the last second. Coming around the tight head with 3 wide there. Eric Einarsson somewhere stuck in the middle of all of his carnage.
Yeah, and Dachkoy already is ahead by a second ahead of Aiden Larson. They went purple on sections 1 and 2. That's incredible stuff considering all of the collisions. Absolutely just good stuff. We're looking at Alex Hughes now, who is sandwiched between Archie O'Leary and Kessis going into that second turn. Is there going to be an overtake? It looks like for the time being no, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities to take over in these sections. Alex Hughes, Thomas Hughes, Josh Hughes, all in 5th, 4th, and 3rd place respectively. This is going to be a family matter, I tell you what. Looking at the back half of the pack, Adam Bent, and there's a bit of a collision. We got a couple collisions on that turn here. I wonder whose car that was that got stuck on the track. Goodness gracious.
I think that was John B that got pivoted sideways and then side swiped by Adam. T-bone, that is the right word I was looking for, by Adam there. Obviously a pretty blind corner with the big barriers here, so not a lot Adam could do. Sam Knight running into the back of both of them again because of the lack of vision there. The gap's over 1.3 seconds of a lead, but we're watching Archie O'Leary making a move. He's having a think about it. He's sticking a nose up. There's contact between Archie O'Leary and Alex Hughes. Both cars stay facing the right way up the autobahn, and they're now powering down towards turn 3 and turn 4, and then into the back end of turn 5 at the hairpin. There we go. Alex Hughes is still ahead of Archie O'Leary through turn 4. Now they're kicking left for turn 5 round the corner there. Still keeping it in line, running it as close to the wall as they dare. Down towards the big heavy hairpin of turn number 7. Adam Beck getting up past Sam Knight there at the back end of the top 10. Well, it's 11th place actually for Adam. He's got to go and chase down Bien Tran if he wants to be in with a chance of a reverse grid pole position. But that was an incredible start there. Just a word for Eric Einarsson. He had a monumental shunt into the wall and has been into the pits and come back out again, hence why that car has dropped quite so far down the order here. We see Adam being chased by Sam down towards the start-finish straight at the end of lap 3. There is so much happened. We've only had 3 laps. It's only been 3 minutes.
Yeah, Dachkoy with another pair of purple sections. It's only getting worse for Aiden Larson from there. He has managed to go down to about 1.5 seconds behind. It looks like he is closing the gap as well, though. Axel Ben Choi in 8th place, currently ahead of Jordan Pinnock and behind Kessis going into one of the 2 major straightaways. He is trying to keep things straight going into the next couple of bends of turn, I believe that's 4 and 5 into Zeppelinstrasse. He is just trying to stay behind, keep distance, but also find a way to just get around as well. Josh Hughes has taken over for the fastest lap of the session as well. So I believe there's going to be a bit more pressure on Aiden Larson as Adam Bent going up against Vien Tran, trying to get that 10th place position, and it looks like they've gone side by side, and Adam Bent taking over as the 10th place racer at the moment. But will it hold going into the second turn of Grundekera? And it is going to hold for now. Adam Bent going to play defensive now against Vien Tran into the major straight of turn 3. This is going to be quite an interesting race. I mean, it's already been interesting, but I bet you it's going to get even more interesting as time goes on. As we're going now into the second half of the lap, Aiden Larson trying to get to Dachkoy at the start-finish straight. Dachkoy has just been absolutely coasting these first few laps, but Aiden Larson trying to get every last improvement to get that time back on Dachkoy. Not a purple section I've seen so far from Aiden Larson. It could change as time goes on, but these are 2 racers who know how to find improvements in their laps and just take full advantage of them as they're going into the next straightaway. Goodness gracious, Dachkoy is trying to pull away from Aiden Larson, but he is just not going to let up. He saw that final lap in practicing. He wants that pole position and that lick back. He has a green sector in sector 2. He is doing better than Dachkoy in that regard. Going back to the start-finish straight. Aiden Larson still trying to claw that time back, but Dachkoy is going to continue to hold on and keep the lead.
It is definitely getting closer and closer between these 2 cars. Aiden, he's thinking about moves at the inside. He's running it deep. He's trying different lines. Trying to put Dak Choi off, thinking, where can I make the move? Where can I get Dak Choi to make that mistake that I need to get past there? We have got traffic up ahead because this is such a short track that if you have one slight instant, you are going to be straight into the path of the leaders for the front, well, especially for the back, sort of 3 to 5 cars there. But luckily, that car seems to be getting out of the way pretty well so far there. Aiden, he's going to be okay, happiness with the start. He's a positive guy, so I'm sure he'll take the points on Lorenzo, but really he wants that win. He needs those points to make up for his, 0 points scored in Sonoma. He's going to come around the last corner now towards the straight, closer again than he was on the lap before, down towards turn 1 in the slipstream, the traffic getting out of the way. Lovely job from them. Dak Choi still leads as we cross 7 laps completed now. The gap behind us, third place, is growing. We've got a battle on our hands for the lead. Aiden can't find a way. Dak Choi sticking to the inside line, holding it all the way around that first hairpin. There is no gap between those two cars now. They are nose to tail, coming down towards turn 3. There they go for the flat turn 3 into turn 4 on the brakes. Roll it through. Don't run too deep or else you won't make the next part of turn 5 there. Power down for both cars. Don't clip the wall there. Keep it clean. The gap's under half a second now. Aiden is going to be getting frustrated if he can't make a move too soon.
Yeah, and it's going to be a challenge to keep up that persistence, but Aiden is a persistent racer. We've seen that in the battles that he's had with Lorenzo, and I definitely know he is going to be trying to keep on, and just he's not the type of guy to give up easily. He's going across the start finish straight. Looks like he's still got about a half a second behind Dak Choi going into that second turn, which that last pass by these two cars was just beautiful, and it's great techniques there. A little bit of a skid there I thought I saw from Aiden Larson. He's lost I think he's lost a 10th as well going into that flat turn 3, but yes, good technique. Goodness, I cannot stop stuttering, forgive me. Good technicalities from both racers, but Dak Choi, it looks like he's pulling away as well. Given how short of a track this is, as we keep talking about, every 10th of a second seems like a full second, given how you can easily lose it. But at the same time, if you are left behind a racer over multiple laps, that gap could grow and fluctuate by only the slightest amount, and it seems like the end of the world at that point, going into the next lap.
The margins are so narrow, the pressure really does start to mount. Aiden, of course, has got race wins in this series before. Dak Choi, this would be their first podium, let alone their first race win. So really, we're hoping to see a new winner. We've always loved to see new people interview new drivers at the end of the stream. And Dak Choi, this would be a perfect way to show their pace by finishing, first ahead of Aiden Larson and well ahead of any of the Hughes family members, who are quite a bit down the road behind. There is a gap starting to form now. We are starting to see more and more lap traffic play its part, because of course if you're 2 or 3 seconds up a lap, then you're going to start lapping people pretty quickly when the lap times are in the 53s for our front runners and in the 56s for our back markers. It's going to be definitely, traffic might play a part. There's probably not enough cars on circuit for it to play a massive part there, but I'm sure we may see it impact us a little bit. Down towards turn 1 again. Aiden just having a look. He's committed. He's gone for it. He's made the move. There he goes. Aiden Larson on the switchback though. Dak Choi holds on to the lead. We are now definitely in combat mode. The graphics gone from chasing to in battle with for these two now. Aiden made the first move of the race for the lead. Got it for about, 4 or 5 car lengths, and then he lost it again. Now we see this is definitely fight on for these two drivers as we come towards the halfway mark.
Yeah, fantastic move, and it seemed like Aiden Larson was going to run away with the lead for a while there, but it's just the switchback. You love to see it. You love that sort of competition, and you love these battles taking place on especially such a short and dense circuit like Norisring. As they're going into the start-finish straight, I bet you there's going to be another move. Aiden Larson, he knows he can make a move, but it's whether or not that move will end up working out in the end, as it looks like there was a bit of a crash at that section as well, so no moves there. It was either O'Leary or Mason, or maybe that's a bit of a lag on my timetable. We're more than halfway done in this race. It is just absolute chaos at the front between Dak Choi and Aiden Larson, who is just crying to just get every last bit of time back. He's already spent some time in first place between the qualifying and the race, but it doesn't matter at this moment because Dak Choi is trying to just keep him off. They've got nose to tail. I don't know if there was contact there. There could have been. It looks like there was.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact between these two drivers, a little bit of pushing there from Aiden to get Dax Choi around turn 7. You've got to think this is going to be frustrating for the Australian driver now. Cannot find a way past this car. Obviously has the pace to do so. There we go again, very late on the brakes. There was no contact, I don't think, that time. Just looked like a little bit of a lock-up for Aiden just to get the car stopped now. He's just stuck in this sort of slipstream. It's not quite dirty air because these cars don't have enough aero for that. But there's a lack of overtaking places around such a simple straight circuit that it just means that Aiden can stay within 2 car lengths. It must be 2-3 car lengths of the car ahead, yet can't find the magic move that he needs.
Yeah, and especially considering it's much more difficult to get an overtake on a turn from these Ginettas. It's definitely going to be testing, the knowledge of, how can I find a place to overtake in a place where it is difficult to do so? How can I just muster up that sort of, ability to just get around? How can I just get around that line? And I know for a fact Aiden was trying to go inside. Dachkoy with a great defensive move to keep him out. Lawson's definitely doesn't have the momentum, so he really has to keep it up going into the next turn. He's got to find a way to, I think, taking the inside line, without the fear of a switchback is definitely the key to victory here. And their battle is still taking time away from the third place drivers down. It's about a 6.5 second gap between Dachkoy and Aiden Lawson and third place as they're going to go into another lap of this very wild ride.
Yeah, these guys are nose to tail. We're just waiting for the move. It almost feels like it's a when, not an if, but the longer it goes on, the less and less certain it feels like that Aiden will get past late on the brakes, trying to run it around the outside, maybe get the switch back on Dak Choi. Now has the inside and can't quite make it stick. And Aiden's definitely getting impatient there. There's more movement in the car. There's more side to side, looking for gaps that might not exist. This corner is nearly impossible to overtake at, given its double 90-degree sort of nature makes it a very hard move, but the gap is consistently under a second. And like you said, normally cars battling this close would slow them down. These guys appear to be helping each other. They appear to have a vendetta against the Hugheses as they run away from the Hughes. There we go, there's a move, not quite going to make it stick around the outside for Aiden. Just trying his absolute gosh darn best to get past. Can't seem to do anything about it though.
He's gained a lot of time back though with those 2 extra moves as well, forcing Dachkoy to kind of take off seconds with those moves, trying to play the long game, I would say, as the gap is less than 1/10 of a second going into turn 2. What are we going to see? Is it going to be a switchback from Dachkoy? They are going too wide briefly, but no, the move didn't work. Oh my goodness gracious. It's just a chess battle.
Yeah, this is very much a chess match at over 100 miles an hour between these two wonderful drivers. There's probably other stuff happening on circuit, but right now I'm not really that interested. It is a fight for the lead. This is a rare occurrence in modern motorsport, and it is a thrilling one at that. Aiden having a little peek up the inside. No, so let's go around the outside. Just later on the brakes again, just rolling off the speed, trying to keep the momentum up, and then get back in the slipstream coming down towards the start-finish straight there. We've only got 5 minutes left to go. These guys have been nose to tail since turn 2. That's a reminder that Aiden has only got past Dak Choi once, and it was only for a very short space of time now as we come down towards turn 2 again for these guys. Here it was where the move was made quite a few laps ago now. We're at lap 16. That is how short the laps are around this track. And there is still no move to be found for us, well, not our championship leader, but certainly one of our championship contenders. Can't seem to capitalise on Lorenzo's absence.
Yeah, and I do think it's got to be just trying to figure out what move can I make to have Dachkoy have a longer lap time. It's really at this point you have to just think about that way, and I think might have been a little bit of a bump there. Sure, it'll show up on the feed a little bit later, but yeah, just trying to, if you get too many tenths off of first place, just force them to make a move that it's not going to work out this lap, but you've got to be able to find a way to just gain those seconds back so you can execute a beautiful move, possibly like this. I think the switchback's not going to work. Dachkoy is back in second place. Aiden Larson, that is the move that works out. That is just biding the time and taking care of business in the last 20% of this race. We're nearing 4 minutes left. That is incredible. And Larson now, he's got to milk every last bit of this track to get more time. Dachkoy, I guarantee you, trying to figure out some move to make. But that was beautiful on the second turn to do it, of all places. It's probably the most competitive Michigan left I've ever seen. Is there going to be for Dachkoy?
Yeah, will we see a move from Dachkoy? Sorry for cutting you off there, Ozzy, as we come down towards turn 2 once again, where they've done 18 laps of this circuit. You've got to think they're going to know it quite well by now. There's a move for Dachkoy around the outside there, just gets it stopped perfectly, but can't get the cutback. There is definitely still fight left in this battle. Now we have got 3.5 minutes of racing action plus 1 lap at the end. Don't forget about that plus 1 lap. This is my catchphrase of the season so far, is don't forget about that plus 1 lap. We know stuff can happen on it. Here we go, running it wide right out onto what appears to be the pavement there of this German autobahn. Probably not the pavement, more like the hard shoulder, because probably pavement on an autobahn. As we see this battling up and down the field, Jordan Pinnock having a fight here with Adam bent over P7. Pinnock going up the inside of Adam, running in very deep. Adam getting a switch back. They are side by side. Adam comes out of that corner, holding on to P7. Remember, reverse grid pole is 10th place, but these guys are fighting for points, proper overall standing points for both drivers there. Jordan Pinnock, we've seen up near the front, got reverse grid poles before, but now currently fighting for 7th and 8th. Deep for Adam Bent means that Pinnock can get the inside line. They're side by side going down the Zeppelinstrasse, down towards, there's the right of turn 6. Now they're going to be hard on the brakes. Jordan Pinnock is going to have the outside. Adam is going to have the more optimal outside line in terms of carrying the speed, which he does very, very well there. Keeps it going. Now they're going down towards turn 8. Jordan running a very tight line. Adam running right around the outside to reclaim 7th place. What a move. What a battle from these two.
An efficient line as well. You know, not just, you know, deceiving, getting the outside line, but it's also an outside line that's going to allow you to catch back up, especially carrying all that centrifugal force into the straightaway. Definitely a great move there, as we've got less than 2 minutes left. Got a few cars coming into turn 2. I don't know if we're going to see... No, looks like they're going to be holding everything up. Archie O'Leary in a strange spot, fighting for 10th place. We've normally seen him around the middle of the pack to the podium. So definitely an off race, but could be playing the long game as well, trying to get that reverse pole position as they're going into turn 5 into the straightaway in that Liverpool livery, the livery pool, if you will. Adam Bent trying to fight again. He lost 7th place to Jordan Pinnock. It's still an entertaining battle between these two for 7th place. All the points in the world you need. They're coming into the next lap, turn 2. Looks like there might be another 2 or 3 laps left. And Adam trying to get the cut back. It looks like they're going side by side. They're going to go that way into the next straightaway. Oh, is it going to be a bit of a battle into turns 4 and 5? Adam's going to get that line, but is he going to try and cut back into turn 5? It looks like he might, but look at that little inside trick there for Jordan Pinnock. A cut back on the cutback. Goodness gracious. And now waiting into the turns 7 here. Going around. I don't know. Is that outside line going to be good enough? Is he going to get that force back in? No! Great defensive move by Jordan Pinnock as they're going to go into the next turn. They're biding the time into the next turn 2 of this next lap. Oh my goodness. What a battle. Not even in first place. Meanwhile, Aiden Larson still is ahead of Dachkoy as well, who is just, he's still on him. He is still on him. This race is going to go down to the absolute wire.
It is certainly so. There's been a little bit of trouble with traffic for these guys there. They're now starting to weave their way through, well, somewhere around the 13th to 10th battle. They'll probably come up on the leaders. There we go, the move around the outside there, very, very late on the brakes. And into the runoff, that is Dachkoy, well off into the runoff. That is a interesting attempt to move there. From the second placed car, Aiden Larson is now thinking, right, this guy is definitely going to be adventurous on the brakes. Maybe they locked up, maybe they didn't have the performance they needed to get the car stopped. But there they go, there's a spin for Archie O'Leary across the circuit there. There's that car's race completely and utterly ruined for him. Now going to be dropping well outside of the top 10. Reverse grid pole is gone. There are 2 laps left to go. Just remember, this is the penultimate corner. So really it's 1 lap and 1 corner to go. And the lap times aren't long. Dak Joy, if you're listening, you've not got much time to make a move. You need to get on with it. You've only got probably 3 corners left. If we're being realistic about it, as the leader is coming up to start the last lap now. There's a bit of traffic up ahead. Aiden Larson trying to slipstream. Dak Choi appears to have got a very good run there, sticking a nose out in the middle of nowhere. They're going to be late on the brakes again, I'd imagine. There they go, running around the outside. Aiden just pushing them wide. The switchback coming for Dak Choi. Can't make it stick back into line formation now. We're on the final lap of the race.
Oh my god, that was quite the move as well. And yeah, very adventurous as well with the braking time, trying to find a way to outgame Aiden Larson. It has been a great battle back and forth between these two cars. Going into the next lap here, this is going to come down to the absolute wire. You wonder if there's going to be a move made on that straightaway, trying to get around that corner. Not going to be able to get it done, but it looks like trying to fight off. It looks like Aiden Larson is going to hold on and get himself the win, unless Dak Choi. Here we go into I think this is the last one. Aiden Larson with the victory. Dak Choi with the second place finish. I think that was Ben Choi in third. Josh Hughes.
Having a little bit of a fart there. It is Dak Choi. Apparently on my timing, Dak Choi took the win, but on the game it says Aiden Larson. I'll go with what the game says. There we go, the time has been updated for us as well. Aiden Larson takes the race win by a meagre, less than a second over the line, I think it was, 0.4 of a second, followed up by Hughes number 1 of Josh, followed up by Hughes number 2 of Thomas, and then Kessas in 5th, splits ahead of the last Hughes of Alex. Then it is Ben Choi and Jordan Pinnock in 8th place. We are now watching Tim Mason, there we go, Tim Mason in 11th place, just outside the points. Just outside the reverse grid points for that car, but it's still a very strong showing. Most of the cars have now crossed the line. We have got Adam Bent in 8th, John B in 9th, Ben Choi 10th, takes the reverse grid pole, Archie O'Leary in 11th, Vien Tran takes 12th, Tim Mason 13th, a new season best for Sam Knight in 14th, that's his first overall points. Eric Einerson with a forgettable performance there from that driver, and then Caleb Tate is going to cross the line to take 16th place. That is the end of race 1 of the day, and that was a very good race. A lot less crashing than I was expecting.
Yeah, no, all these races were able to keep it together for the most part, which was, and I think the chaos might be saved for the next race, just mainly because of the fact that you've got the racers who are slower in the front of the pack, and then you've got Dak Choi and Aiden Larson, Josh Hughes, Thomas Hughes up in 7th through 10th place. So I think there might be a bit of crashing this time. Not sure if it's going to be a red flag like we saw at Burnout, but
I think we're going to see something. Yeah, as you say, we've got Ben Choi on pole position ahead of John B and Adam Bent. All 3 of those guys very rarely at the front of this grid. Need to say so, but it's just kind of true. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that front row start, especially from Ben Choi, not a person we've seen not had a reverse grid pole before, to my knowledge. So it's going to be interesting how they manage it. But before we get into race 2, we are going to go to a video now from our sponsor, Grid Finder. There we go. Grid Finder is our season sponsor. We're very thankful to have them on board with us. If you want to get involved with any of the things you see here at BUSR, whether it's our wonderful Monday night Assetto Corsa, our flagship Saturday night Formula One, iRacing throughout the week, we have off-season events that are a little bit more silly, championship points, just fun as well across various games. If you want to get involved, come and find us on Discord and we would be happy to have you. Also, if you're not a racer, if you're interested in social media management, in broadcast, in sponsorships, if you want to get something to put on your CV but make sure like you're better than just your other academic university mates or even as a job, then yeah, come and join us, come and have an ask, come and have a conversation. We're a nice, friendly bunch of people and we'd love to have you. But anyway, we've got another race coming up soon and I am over the moon at the prospect of 20 minutes more of that wonderful, wonderful weird circuit.
Yeah, it's my goodness. I'm sorry. I need to go just grab a drink of water real quick. I'll be back in a second.
But yeah, If you're new here, we have another 20-minute race coming up, and it is a reverse grid pole. This is not a full reverse grid, so the drivers that came in 16th and down, well, 16th, 15th, they're all going to still be in 16th and 15th, because that will be a bit weird. Anyway, 10th place, however, Ben Choi is going to be starting on the front row. They've got to do that short run down to turn 2 without having too much wheel spin and just manage it from John B and Adam Bent behind. It's a 20-minute race. They've got to keep the pressure on for the whole time to really, well, they've got to try and run away. If these guys fight too much, then they're going to get caught pretty quickly by our season favourites, if you like, of Dak Choi, Aiden Larson, Josh Hughes, Thomas Hughes, Kessers, and Alex Hughes. They are going to be right on the back of them. It's such a short lap as well. I would not be surprised if we see those front runners from race 1 back at the front by, I don't know, lap 4, lap 5, given how short the laps are. That's not a lot of time, but I reckon they'll still manage it.
I feel like there's going to be it's going to be a bit more of an unpredictable result this time around, just given that, you're going to see some more jostling, especially with slower racers at the front, faster racers at the back. And, it's given that we've now got that sort of configuration going on, a crash is more likely. It's like a teen driver texting. The amount of crashes, the odds of the crash to go up are higher.
Yes, and definitely. Given what we've seen in the past, of course, the guaranteed crashes, it's BUSR in Assetto Corsa. It's pretty much a guarantee that someone will have a crash. None of these guys are, of course, our professional drivers. They're all just people having fun. And if you want to have fun, you can join in and also have your very own crash. We might even stream it on the broadcast and make a little bit of fun of you. We'll see how mean we're feeling. But I definitely think, because we had no crashes not really any crashes of note in race 1. There were some spinners, but nothing major. I felt their drivers are all saving it up. And they've gone, we'll keep race 1 clean. We'll actually show you what this track has to offer. Of course, it hosts German touring cars, it's hosted sports cars of all forms in the past. But
and then just bin it into a wall.
And then they bin it into a wall instantly in race 2 and cause absolute carnage for our poor steward, Adam Bent, who's also racing, bearing in mind. So it's not even like he can do live stewarding because he's also on circuit. So, yeah, there's going to be reports coming in all over the place, I fear, for this next race that may well affect results beyond what we see here. But all we're going to report on is what we see. There are cars on the grid. They're just getting the order sorted for the race. So don't go anywhere. It's only a 20-minute race. I'm sure your attention span will last.
Unless you are Gen Alpha, in which case I'm sorry for your loss.
And yeah, there's other problems with that. But never mind. This is a 20-minute race. We're not out here doing full endurance races because they can drag on a little bit. We've learned that in the past. They're not bad watching. I've commented over a few of them. They're good fun, but also 20-minute sprint races are great fun because it keeps the pack nice and tight touring car style with sports cars. It's definitely the way forward now. I have no idea when we're going to be going racing, but I'm sure it'll be nice and soon. Predictions? What are you going for, Ozzy?
I am going to go out on a limb and say that, oh my God, he's going to kill me for jinxing him, but I'm going to say, upset alert, Adam Bent.
You think you're saying season organizer, head of Assetto Corsa in the BUSR, and committee member Adam Bent is going to pull through and finally deliver a good result?
I am going to. I apologize in advance for the jinx, but I've got to say, there's a chance. There's a chance.
He's starting at the front. We know he can get a monster start. If any of you watched Sonoma Race 2, he got an absolutely ballistic start, and his lead lasted, a whole lap, maybe even a lap and a bit, before he had a monumental off into the gravel there and decided to try and eat bits of the San Francisco countryside. We have got cars on circuit, 15 seconds on the clock there. The lights getting ready for race 2 of the day. I am very excited about this. I think we're going to see a Hughes at the front. We've got lights on in front of the cars at Norisring. 1 winner, 15 losers. Here we go. BUSR at the Norisring. We are go. The green flag is flying. There is cars moving away now as though it's a long run down to turn 1. At least from this camera angle, it looks like it's going to be a long run. Ben Choi leading the pack away from John B and Adam Ben. Adam going around the inside there for Adam. Sorry, very, very deep there from Adam.
Wow.
There's a car spot in the background. We've got monumental. Wow. It's going to be a red flag. I would imagine humongous crash. Everybody involved from about 4th place downwards. Yep, it appears that we've got about 4 cars, maybe 5 cars through cleanly. I'd be very surprised if that wasn't red flag there. No idea what caused it. There we go. There's the red flag. The throne, and there's still a crash after the red flag. Never mind. We got, what was that? 3 turns into the race before
Yeah, no, that was 2. That was literally on the second turn.
Second turn, the crashes are still coming through on the timing sheet. They have no idea who caused it. One is that everyone else got caught up in it. All the Hugheses were caught up. Dak Choi was caught up in it. Aiden Larson was caught up in it. All that meant was that the front guys now have to start the race again.
Yep.
I'm not going to say we predicted it, but
we did in a way.
But yeah, there we go. There is your BUSR chaos for the day. I'm glad you feel satisfied with that now. If you're watching at home and go, I wanted more crashes, there's your monumental crash. There was car sideways, literally a traffic jam of Ginetta's kind of strewn across a German autobahn. I've no idea what's going to happen. In a second, when we restart, I'm not sure if there's a rule about too many red flags. It's entirely an option, given the nature of these guys. Looking at the timing sheets, the cars are now back on circuit, just getting back into the right order before we see the race start again. It won't be too long, so please don't go anywhere now you've seen the crash. I promise you, we'll probably provide you more in a minute. Again, the biggest thing now is that Ben Choi and John B and Adam Bent have to start again, and Adam gets another chance. Yep,
he will, and I'm not sure if that was his car taking that outside, going wide on that second turn, but it looked like for a sec that he might have just been able to pull away because, like you said, monster starts from him can happen.
Yeah, I think he made that monster start and then just ran a little bit too deep on the brakes that appeared to do into turn 2, which obviously proved to be completely inconsequential as we had a Hughes completely sideways across the smallest part of the track, which kind of limits our options going forward in the race to anything but a red flag. It's going to be an interesting one, I think, just with Adam now. He knows where his breaking point is. It's slightly before where he did it last time, which should give him more options for overtaking and getting that lead. Ben Choi obviously did a decent job of starting, came out of turn 1 still in the lead, turn 2 still in the lead, sorry. So as long as that car can, do it again, I see no reason why Ben Choi won't be leading at least round 2, turn 2. I can't say any further than turn 2. We have no evidence of anything further than turn 2.
We don't, and it's. I guess just we can't really predict anything and expect it to come true, because somehow there's going to be a defiance of expectation.
Somehow, yes. Even that was a crash of quite large proportions that defied even my expectations for what this lot can manage now. That they are. We promise you there is a race coming soon. Don't worry. We're just getting everyone set up.
Billiard balls being broken.
It did. I've seen clips of various crashes of that nature before at places like Macau, where there's just cars strewn all over the circuit. But those guys are pros. These guys are just people in their rooms at university or at home. So I expected much better from them. We're having the lights back on for the third time, second race of the day. Rock and roll, let's go racing here at the Norisring. Ben Choi leads the pack away from the race. Archie Leary going veering across the circuit somewhere towards the back of the field. Adam Bent, he's having a wiggle around looking for the perfect slipstream. Who's he going to follow into the turn 1? And there looks to be a lead around the outside for John B. Ben Choi runs it quite deep. Adam Bent going through the middle there. There's Hughes all over the place. Aiden Larson running very wide there. Careful not to collect sound on the inside. We've got a car off on the inside.
That's Ben Choi!
Ben Choi, race leader, pole position, out of the race there pretty much of the running. Adam Bent appears to be leading. There's a Hughes behind him, followed up by Jordan Pinnock. John B still fighting for that top 5 after their front 2 start there. There's carnage behind on the timing sheets. I've got no idea who's involved, but there's lots of people involved. Dak Choi already up to 7th. Aiden Larson still in 10th place. No moves made for them. Dak Choi at the inside there of Thomas Hughes to take P6. Having a look there, so Josh Hughes, there he is in the red car going around the outside. Eric Anderson appears to have had another crash somewhere in the field. Their race day is not going the way they were hoping it for. Dak Choi now running in 6th. Adam Bent leading us at the end of lap 1 of this reverse grid race ahead of Alex Hughes, Jordan Pinnock and John B. Here we go. We're going to see a move now from John B. on the inside. John Pinnock has gone straight into the back of Thomas Hughes. That is not the greatest of racing from that car there. No call for that level of aggression on the move there. That move could have come much later on and much safer. The big loser being Alex Hughes is now pushed out of the top 10, which I feel like will be inevitably back into it, but still not great. John B getting up past one of the other Hughes cars. Dak Choi, big gainer from that, now up to P4.
I hope that wasn't intentional. I mean, it doesn't feel like it would have been from John B. Could have been some sort of just trying to get the break, but didn't manage to get it out in time. But yeah, Dak Choi in getting up to 3rd. Aiden Larson down in 15th.
No idea what happened there, but yes, our Our race 1 winner is well out of the running here. We're looking at Josh Hughes, who is practically inside of the car ahead of him of Dak Choi. These guys both successful races in the series, both got podiums now with Dak Choi's race 2. Second place there on the inside for Josh Hughes, takes third place ahead of Dak Choi. Aidan Larson sets the fastest lap of the race. I fear we're about to see a monumental amount of overtakes from that man as we see this race unfold.
We're going to see it again, aren't we?
5 from Dak Choi. They're not the greatest there. There's a move around the outside for Josh Hughes, who appears to have had a problem. The red car is, never mind, still running just out of shot. Commentators, wiggle there. We've got 3 cars flying in formation down the back straight of Zeppelin Straussler towards turn 6. Curve for Archie O'Leary, loses control, spears towards the inside, hits the wall hard, cuts across the track. Luckily doesn't collect anybody, gets out of the way. Very well there, Archie O'Leary crashing pretty much on their own. Best you can manage, really don't take anyone out. Kessler's here up in 4th place, not seen much of them today. Server PB for Jordan Pinnock and for Adam Bent, both of them pushing overall, well, fastest lap for Jordan Pinnock, sorry, but Adam is leading by 1.3 seconds. We've got a fight, there's a collision behind.
Oh my god!
There's a car over the fence with the wheels falling off. That is Kessler's and some of the Hughes completely getting tangled up there. This is all the chaos we were talking about for race 1 coming alive in race 2. Kessler's dropping right the way down the place. Aidan Larson gaining places in all of that carnage. That was the biggest crash we've seen all season, I think. What a show.
My god! That I bet you that's how those people in World War One, those soldiers, I'm making the same face they made when a shell went off beside them from a tank or something.
That is more collisions there. Eric not having the best of days. More collisions up and down the field. Gloves are very much off. And all the while, Adam Benton and Jordan Pinnock are absolutely running away. Aidan Larson is cutting through the pack like a knife through butter. There we go. There's Ben Choi, our pole position man, fallen right the way down to 10th place. There's a move for Archie O'Leary coming in the mid, a couple of cars ahead of what we're looking at now. There's Sam Knight going very deep there. Not the greatest move up in P8 for him, but probably not going to hold that for too much longer. There he goes, losing a place to Eric Einarson. But we're focusing on Archie O'Leary, who's just behind Thomas Hughes, looking for a move, thinks better of it, which is probably wise given how little car there is left intact on this circuit.
We saw a car perform a high jump. I think that says a lot.
Yes, we have seen a car get airborne for the first time in the Winter Series history in a non-glitch scenario. We have seen cars get airborne at Anglesey in the Audis last season, and we have seen them get airborne earlier at Sonoma, but never to quite that extent, as Jordan Pinnock appears to have taken the race lead ahead of Adam Bent now, the gap building at the front for those 2 cars.
Oh man, going into turn 2 of the next lap. My timesheet's been having a bit of a problem. But right.
Close racing from those 2 cars that we're looking at now. Aidan Larson making a move on Vien Tran. Can't find a way past. He knows he's got time. Vien Tran runs deep and just lets him through there. Easy pickings for our championship contender now. He's got Ben Choi and Sam Knight ahead. Both of those cars happy to be running in the top 10. Little contact with the wall there for Ben Choi. That's going to compromise that car's run through this chicane there. Aidan Larson's going to be thinking, right, they've made a mistake. This car is struggling. They've either got damage, overheating tyres, or they're just not in it today. I need to get past this car quick. I need to get around them immediately. Sam Knight dropping out of the top 10 there for him. Not his greatest of moves. Up the inside there. Lovely move. There's a spin behind for Vien Tran after colliding with Aidan, but Aidan seems to have got away with it quite fine, actually. Top 10 for Aidan Larson. Let's see, how high can he get up?
It'd be a similar situation as Lorenzo Gualtieri in race 2 of Oulton Park. Hopefully it'll translate for him coming into this next turn. He's got Ben Choi to his right. He's going to make the cut around, and he's going to hold him off, it looks like. He's going to hold him off right there.
Keeping him behind pretty well, actually, there. Ben Choi is keeping up with Aidan rather handily for a driver we've not seen near the front end of the field. Aidan now up into 9th place. The next car ahead is Eric Einarson. A little bit of a gap to him. We see Thomas Hughes going around the outside, which turned into the inside of one of the other Hughes, Alex. Those 2 cars, lovely liveries, the green and the turquoisey sort of blue. Actually, never mind, there's a blue car in the middle of that pack, but there's a move around the outside, which is what really matters for that Hughes, ahead of the other Hughes. Coming towards the line now, they are nose to tail, a little bit wiggling. They're coming down towards the very, very tight corner. There is a very slow car ahead of them of Tim Masson, who's going to hopefully get out of the way. Oh, that's not the greatest place from Tim Masson up ahead. He dives off into the runoff to let those guys past. Very nicely done there for Alex to maintain the position ahead of Thomas.
Yeah, and Jordan Pinnock has been continuing to absolutely just rifle down this Norisring. He has gotten up to 3 seconds ahead of Adam Bent. So this very much could be the matchup at the front of the pack, at least relative to everyone else. It might be the closest match up front. We got 4 cars going into the next turn. Thomas and Alex, the Hughes twins, still trying to fight alongside each other going into the next lap. It is quite a repetitive track, admittedly, but it's still been quite exciting as we got 12 and a half minutes left of this chaos. Thomas trying to get some seconds back on Alex, trying to potentially go for a cutback. He's not going to get it. And I thought there was a bit of a contact with the wall. There was contact behind them that just happened as well. And yeah, this battle's going to continue to rage on. Jordan Pinnock is going to reach 4 seconds ahead of Adam Bent. Excuse me.
What a gap up ahead for Jordan Pinnock. Obviously a racer of interesting incidents in the past, been involved in a couple of them with some of our front runners, but now is leading and quite cleanly keeping it ahead. Evidently that car has pace in it that is showing right now. We've got a lovely battle forming over P5. Hughes, Archie O'Leary, then Eric Einarsson, followed up by Aidan Larson, who has caught up to this pack, dropped Ben Choi behind as we suspected that Aidan might do, and now he's going to go and get past Eric Einarsson. He needs to score as many points as he can. He cannot be having off races when Lorenzo is absent. He needs to absolutely capitalise on every point that he can if he wants to take this overall fight to the dominant force in Brno, really, of Lorenzo. Now coming up towards the next set of corners. Well, I say set of corners, only about 4 of them on the corner. Contact with the wall for Archie O'Leary, but keeps it facing in the right direction through the hairpin, keeping it smooth for Aidan Larson as well. The gap's all under a second, but no moves being made just yet. The next chance they've got really is going to be into turn 7. Eric Einarsson is going to be busy fighting Archie O'Leary now. Is he going to make a move up the inside? He's later on the brakes. It looks like he's going to stick it up the inside, keep the line nice and tight, get the power down as early as he can, early as he dares, should I say there. And he takes the place, but Archie coming back. There we go, side by side, down onto the start-finish straight. This bickering has allowed Aidan Larson to catch up very, very handily.
Yeah, and if Aidan is able to play his cards right, who knows, he might be able to get an overtake on both races in this next turn. Let's take a look, see what happens. Going side by side, contact there, but they managed to, it looks like Aidan's going to go side by side now with Eric Einarsson as they're going into turn 3, that flat straightaway turn, and it looks like he's just going to pull back right here into this next couple of turns. And it looks like he's going to be still stuck in 9th place. We've got Josh and Alex Hughes battling. No, that's Josh Hughes and Dachkoy, pardon me, going into the next and final turn of this lap. It's still about a gap of 3/10 for that. Eric Einarsson and Aidan Larson still battling it out. Archie O'Leary taking advantage and trying to get more seconds off of it. But Aidan Larson manages to get another position. Eric isn't done just yet. He wants it back. He wants to prove he can take down one of the top dogs in this field going into turn 2 of this next lap. Eric on the outside. There's a bit of corner-to-corner contact, and Aidan maintains the place. We had a car go off track. I'm pretty sure that was Alex Hughes. Yes, it was, going into turn 3 of this next lap. Alex Hughes now back in 10th place, so yet another place gain for Aidan Larson. Archie O'Leary now about, it looks like, that's half a second behind there, going into the next section, the Z-shaped corners, this little lightning bolt, I guess you could call it that, as Archie trying to hold off Aidan, trying to just take the optimal line, have him not try and catch up, and it's been quite unremarkable at the front as well at the same time. Jordan Pinnock still with quite the gap over Adam Bent as well, and it looks like it might be, yeah, it's about 7 seconds now going into the next turn. Aidan trying to make his move. He's not going to get a cutback, certainly not at that angle, as we've got a little bit of a contact from Josh Hughes as well in 4th place.
Yep, this is getting closer and closer for Aidan. He knows he's faster than Archie O'Leary, and Archie probably knows that as well. Both these guys are in the student class, so this is not only for overall points. This is for student points as well. Obviously, less people running in student class because, of course, not everyone here is a student. Some are alumni. Down towards turn 7 they go. Here we go. Move for Aiden up the inside. Later on the brakes, makes it stick. Can run the inside now, so to get the power down early enough to not lose the place on acceleration. Keeps it. There they go. Slipstream train is forming for Aiden. The gap up ahead though is pretty decent to Thomas Hughes. You can't even see him too much on the minimap. Archie O'Leary though he's not giving up the fight, is he? He's going to have another move. He's thinking about doing it into turn 2, which is the nice tight hairpin. We've seen nothing go wrong at all race so far, which is incredible. There's contact behind between Eric Anderson and Archie O'Leary. Both those cars having a problem, which is going to allow Alex Hughes to get back up into 7th place there. Not the best of driving from those two cars. I think that was probably more on Eric than it was on Archie, but we didn't see, so I will forgive any comments. Jordan Pinnock is now leading. Dak Choi is up into 2nd place ahead of Adam Benton, who is bleeding places now, as Josh Hughes is also having a look at the Welshman. Series organiser being chased down by one of the trio of Hugheses for the last podium spot.
Yeah, and it was still good while it lasted up in front as well. Dachkoy is making up lots of time to try and have a go at Jordan. It got snubbed, they got snubbed in the first race from Aiden Larson with a nice couple of moves. But yeah, no, they definitely, I bet you they want that first place, that race. I'm speaking of bleeding places. That seems to be what my speech has done right now, as Josh Hughes going on the inside of Adam Bent into the straightaway. If there's any move, any time to make it, it's right here, right now. And Adam is going to try to be strategic about it, but he's going to have to yield that place up, barring a cutback. Is he going to get that? No, he is not. He is down in 4th place. Josh Hughes back in 3rd, which is where he finished last time.
Yep, not the greatest of moves from Adam there. Not his best lap, but obviously he knows the cars around him are very quick, but he's not giving up the fight. The slipstream down the turn 8 to turn 1 is a monster one. He's looking at the inside, late on the brakes. Don't hit him, don't hit him, don't he hit him. A little bit of contact between the two cars. Adam gets out of it, lets him through. There's definitely Josh's place to keep. As we've seen, the gap of the lead is still up to 8 seconds. Dak Choi making no moves ahead. Everyone seems to have settled down into more of a rhythm now with these two guys fighting for the last step of the podium. Hopefully that'll allow Thomas Hughes and even Aiden Larson maybe to catch up. But with only 5 minutes to go, you've got to think this is definitely, well, probably the battle for the final podium spot.
At this point, yeah. And, it's kind of tough. I feel a bit for Adam, now that the lights are bright and at the brightest, he's trying so hard to fight against these other racers, but being a race organizer and being a racer at the same time, it's pretty difficult. As we see, it looks like there's another disconnect as well, Eric Ennison. But yeah, no, I feel bad for the man. I feel bad for him. Oh, wait a minute, Aiden Larson, 6th place. He's just set fastest lap. I think he wants his lick back. I think he wants his lick, as he bit of a corner cut right there.
As a 53.5 for Aiden, which is significantly faster than literally everybody else on circuit. No one else is doing 53s. If he can keep this pace up, he will catch up at about a second, between a second and half a second a lap. Oh no, sorry, Thomas Hughes has just scraped into the 53s. But Adam Bent and Josh Hughes and Dak Choi are well over the 53-second mark. If he can keep this pace up, he will be catching hand over fist through the rest of this very short, 5-minute sprint at the end of this race to go now. The gap at the front is hovering around the 7 to 8 second mark, so not really much that they can do about that. But this gap here, the one that we're sort of watching the back end of now, is the compressing accordion of positions composed of 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th between Josh, Adam, Thomas and Aiden. I must say that Aiden has driven a stellar race to be so far down at the end of lap 1 or 2 to come back up to 6th. In a track where we know for a fact overtaking is very, very hard, because there is very few corners to do anything about overtaking. So he's done very well to get even up to 6th.
And, he's still going to be overshadowed by Lorenzo in terms of the biggest comeback we've seen so far this season. But still, good on Aiden for getting all the way back up from 15th to 6th. 9 places gained back in. I mean, at this point, man, he's probably got my vote for driver of the day.
He's definitely performing well. I think Dak Choi is also a good shout. Obviously came into this round with no podiums. Instead of come away with 2 second places, which will rocket them up the standings. Just a word on that final podium. Josh Hughes, 0 podiums this season. Adam Bent, 0 podiums this season. No matter which of those two gentlemen finishes in 3rd place, it will be a debut podium for them. Of course, the cars around them, Dak Choi has got podiums before, but Jordan Pinnock he's currently sitting in the middle of the table with 12 points, but he's going to get a race win, which is a lot more than 12 points. I'll lay that for free, which would rocket them up the standings past drivers like Will Harris, Adam Bent, Kevin Vanuli, and possibly even Renzo Ribeiro and Mohammed as well. So a lot of points on the table for Jordan Pinnock right now, assuming he can keep it clean. Archie O'Leary has done very well, got a podium earlier in the season, now for Alex Hughes, who also has a race win under his belt. So there's more and more podiums coming in throughout the series, which is great to see that drivers that don't normally qualify towards the front are still getting those really, really good results.
Yeah, and especially especially for these drivers with no experience as well. And it shows that there's a chance for everyone to get a podium in these races. Doesn't matter if you're a professional racer, doesn't matter if you're a current student, alumni, if you're just someone who wants to join the server and make some friends, you too can have a podium to your credit at some point, as Archie kind of scraped the wall a bit there.
Definitely playing with the limits here. If any of you have ever watched qualifying in Monaco, it very much gives that kind of vibes, only it's very much more German, full of 90-degree corners and lots of straightaways, as we see Archie and Alex still nose to tail, under a second between these two cars, yet no moves being thrown. Just like that, we are now down into the last 1.5 and a bit minutes, so not a lot of racing to go for these guys. Jordan Pinnock is going to be thinking, right, just keep it facing the right way. I would say on the black stuff, but there's so many barriers, you kind of can't keep it anywhere but the black stuff now as we come into the last 1.5 minutes. It's been a very chaotic race here. Thomas Hughes now having a look at Adam Bent. Adam is not having... he started high up. He always knew that he'd be defending rather than attacking this race. Hopefully he can keep a top 5. Aiden is closing in rapidly behind, so it's going to be close, with Aiden doing 54.0 on his last lap, Adam doing a 55.1. It feels like a wet move.
He's trying to defend.
Thomas Hughes slipstream up the inside towards turn 7 on the brakes, nice and late, keeps it tucked in. Adam, not a lot he can really do there as they skirt around the Armco back the other way down the German Autobahn. That is the place for Thomas Hughes. It's now a Hughes 3-4 and then 7. Aiden is now going to be thinking, right, Adam's ahead. I'm really sorry, Adam. We're great friends off the track, but I need to get past you for my championship.
Oh man, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. Adam, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but the fall off needs to be studied, man. You had first place. What happened?
Yeah, there's definitely some quick drivers in this series. Adam is not slow, but there are some rapid people in this series. The Hughes trio for one. Jordan Pinnock's put on a great race. We've not seen it from him before, but he's putting on an absolutely cracking race. And there was a lot of sliding there for Adam. Aiden closing right in and looking for that slipstream. Definitely going to be a move thrown soon between these two guys. A 53.7 was the last lap from Aiden, which is faster than pretty much anybody is managing right now. 2 laps to go on the clock. That is it. Just 2 laps to go now. The leader currently going around turn 2. These guys coming across the start, finish straight. Adam now has to think about attacking and defending in that nightmare sandwich situation, fighting for his one of his best results, if not his best result of the season, and yet he's got cars ahead and behind him. The car behind is our multiple race winner, Aiden Larson, very late on the brakes, closes right up, seems to keep it pointing the right way without any contact, which is great racing from him. Is he going to make the move into turn 4? He's going to be thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think we're all going to be thinking about it, even if that move doesn't exactly happen. I guess we might never know. Who knows? PB for Vientran as well in 10th place. Got to shout out that. And here we go. Aiden Lawson side by side with Adam Bent going into the next turn. I think he's going to lose another place.
Yep, there he goes, running wide for Adam Bent. Aiden just getting up the inside. Nice regulation pass there. Just push him out wide. Get the optimal line down the start, finish straight. Hope that Adam hasn't got some sort of super turbo boost under the hot bonnet of his car, which I'm sure he doesn't, because that would be cheating. As we see one of the cars straight off at the side there, no longer pointing in the right direction. This is the battle for P5. Adam coming across the line in P5 as we see down towards the next turn. Late on the brakes for Aiden, keeping it tight, hoping to not hit into the side of Adam. That is amazing racecraft from both of these guys there. Lovely, keeping it clean, very much not the theme of the season. The leader is on the final lap and coming towards the end, but we're watching this battle for 5th place. Aiden has recovered well. Adam is bleeding places. We really would like to see Adam on the podium, but this is still a first season podium for Josh Hughes. Aiden Larson there, pretty much placed sealed and delivers as the leaders are coming towards the line. There he is. Jordan Pinnock is your race winner. Race 2 of the day at the Norisring. Round 4 is taken by Jordan Pinnock. What a win from that guy. It is his first win of the season, first podium of the season. Had a few crashes earlier on this year, and his last...
He was last of
the standings, apparently. Not sure if I believe that, but it says so on the thingy, so I'm going to have to believe it until I hear anything differently. As we see other cars coming across the line there. Dak Choi takes the second place. Josh Hughes with his first podium of the season ahead of Thomas Hughes. Aidan did get P5 ahead of Adam Bent in P6. Here comes Archie O'Leary towards the line. Alex Hughes takes 7th. Archie O'Leary takes 8th. That is a 9th place for Sam Knight on my timing sheet. Never mind, he's dropping places, never mind. Ben Choi in 10th. Sam Knight in... So Ben Choi and then Vien Tran. Sam Knight, I've got no idea where he's finished, but there's people finishing all over the place. What really matters is that is Jordan Pinnock in first place. That is that guy's... I'll say that guy. It's Jordan Pinnock's first. It's his first win of the season. First win is a big one. Ahead of Dak Choi, perennial bridesmaid, never the bride for that guy. Second place, Josh Hughes in third place, Thomas Hughes fourth, and Aidan Larson, there he is. He's scored a whole chunk of championship points, a first and a fifth for the Australian. He's going to close that gap right up to Lorenzo going into the next round at Croft next week. Yeah,
got very well done. You know, despite the fall down for Aidan Larson, and very good technical race from him as well, taking back all these places. Oh my god, I gotta keep it a buck. My blood sugar has been low this whole race.
Yeah, that was a race of proper chaos. That is what we like from the BUSR, is a little bit of carnage. I'm sure we're going to have some drivers in to interview in a second. I'm very interested to see what they think of that interesting race 2 start, and then the second race 2 start is definitely going to be something to talk to them about. We're going to have all of our, well, not all of them, a good chunk of our class winners, so we'll have overall winners and class winners speaking to us very soon before we end the stream. So I think we will probably have the man of race 1, Aidan Larson, in first to see what he has to say about his first and second race. Hello, Aidan.
Hello again.
How are you doing after that pair of interesting races, shall we say?
Sweating a lot.
That feels about right. Talk us through race 1 for you. You spent a lot of it behind Dak Choi, and then you made the move towards the end and just sort of had to hold him off. Is that what it was from inside of your car?
Yeah, you've pretty much said exactly what's going on there. Luckily, it's a pretty simple track, so there aren't a lot of corners you can really make time on. I just had to hope I got a better exit than him, and then try and keep up in the slipstream. Because obviously we've got a quite nice ballast difference, so he's a bit quicker in a straight line. But thankfully, me being a little bit on the insane side, running zero wing, I was just about able to keep up. So, for all the slipping and sliding, it was worth it.
Oh my god! And between the track and between, you thought it was just Lorenzo that was going to be on you, mate. No.
No, I'd better rethink that.
Yeah.
If Lorenzo was here today, honestly, that would have been a freeway fight for first. And
oh my god, rough. Yes. That would have been cinema. It's cinema in its purest form. I bet you're right. But it's like, and then what happened in the second race? You were all the way down to 15th, I think?
Oh, yeah, a bit of this and a bit of that. Turn 1 was okay from memory, but it was that very last corner, the last hairpin onto the back straight. I got bumped in the back. I don't know if it was me just being slow or someone accidentally went into me, but I got spun round. And it took, the better part of a decade to try and get myself spun back round. Because I don't have a clutch. So I had to try and use my brain and say, hey, we need to go into neutral to get this thing started. So it did take a moment.
Well, you recovered very well, and I'm assuming we're going to see you back out around 5 for Croft to keep this championship fight going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to fight for it.
Yeah, well, and even if you don't win, I'm still glad that you're able to, have this banter that you always have about you. You're a treat to talk to, man.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But look, at the end of the day, right, whatever happens, happens. We're all here to have fun. We're all here to race. Yes, it's nice to win. Yes, it's nice to do well. But if something happens, you either report it or you move on and have a laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Very wise words there from our race 1 winner, Aidan Larson. Thank you for joining us, Aidan. I'm sure we will talk to you again, probably next week.
Thank you very much. I'll hopefully see you soon.
In a bit, man.
Bye.
So now we're going to pull in Aiden's probably main rival, I think, fair to say, throughout the day. We're going to pull in Dak Choi, second place, twice winner in class, and overall a very fast racer. Hello, Dak Choi.
Hello.
So talk us through your pair of races there. Lots and lots of podiums, but not quite the race win you were after.
Yeah, well, in the first race with Aiden, it was real close. I think I made a mistake into turn one, and that gave him the opportunity to overtake me, and then it was basically game over. He's such a good driver.
Yeah, no, but you were holding him off on move after move after move around that hairpin turn, and it's like, I think the fact that you were able to hold him off for that long, that speaks volumes about you might be doing a bit better than you think you might.
Yeah, I've always tried to defend fairly and try to defend as a whole. I have a couple of friends who are way faster drivers than me, and we sometimes hop on the sim and just drive, and I try to defend for cases like that one.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see nice defending, and I'm assuming we're going to see you back out looking for that race win again next week.
I hope so.
Well, we'd love to see you there. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Dak Choi.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, take it easy.
Defending is a key part of what makes you a good BUSR racer, because as we've seen, bad defending leads to cars facing the wrong way. And now we're going to have another one of our cars in. We're going to get the star of race 2 there. Easy gap ahead for Jordan Pinnock as he come across the line to take his maiden race win. Hello, Jordan.
Hello.
You must be buzzing right now after that second race.
Yeah, that was so good. So much fun.
From you obviously saw there was lots of crashes on, especially that red flag raced up. But you just seemed to stay calm and stay ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the first pile up in the first race before we red flagged it. So second race, I just went as wide as possible into turn one, let the carnage unfold, and tried to keep my nose clean, and it worked.
Yeah, and you had to fight off. Adam as well for that first place spot as well.
Yeah, I mean, me and Adam had a really good battle in race 1, so we both knew we could trust each other. And then going into race 2, it was kind of more of the same. It was just a case of who was going to come out on top. And unfortunately, he made that little mistake coming out of the hairpin, and it gave me the run to get past him down the straight. And then I just kind of scarpered while I had the chance.
Yeah, that gap was big.
Yeah, the pace was very strong in that race.
And do you think this pace will translate well over to Croft? Croft, a well-known fast circuit in the UK. Do you think that will translate, or are you a little bit more nervous now?
I mean, if it's anything to go by, I did no practice for this, and it kind of same as in the first race. It just kind of came slowly throughout the session, and if Croft's anything to go by, then I reckon I can be up there again. It was mostly down to making a setup tweak before the second race. I dropped my rear wing right the way down just to give me a bit more straight line speed, and I was suddenly a second a lap quicker than I was in race 1.
Yeah.
Well, evidently worked, and congratulations on your first race win of the season.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure we'll speak to you again in the future.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well done, Jordan, and to many more podiums, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Just one more interview to go. One of the got a debut podium is the only way I can say it is Josh Hughes got that first podium in race 3 of the season. Hello, Josh. First podium of the year.
Hello.
Close enough. Talk us through that second race for you. You got P3. It must feel great to be on the podium.
It was brilliant. Both races, I think P3 and second race is a little bit more chaotic, to be honest. I think I got spun in a 720 at the beginning of the race and still finished third, so I don't know how that happened.
Excellent recovery.
No one ever knows. Oh my god! But yeah, no, it's you. So you had a bit of battles with your cousins as well, Tom and Alex, and you are the second Hughes to have a post race interview. You've unfortunately Tom had one before you, but you've beaten out Alex. So is it going to be a bit of banter at the next dinner between the three of you or some?
Yeah, I think he'll go coconuts about it, to be honest. He'll have to catch up one day, but he's got to get a bit faster first.
That's going to be
Josh Tuesday. What a way to finish off the stream! And I'm sure have you looked ahead to Croft, or are you keeping it very much towards next weekend sort of job?
Oh, that's a next weekend problem.
Amazing. What we love to hear. Thank you for speaking to us, Josh, and I hope to see you back here in 1 week's time.
No problem. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers, man. Oh, my.
And that is it from us at the BUSR Winter Series Round 4. Unless you have any closing remarks, Ozzy, I think we'll end it there.
Goodness gracious. My Ginnites have been my savior throughout this, not sponsored, but they've been my savior throughout this race because my blood sugar has been so low. I feel like I'm about to faint.
There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of sweat from drivers and broadcasters. And I hope we're all now. I'm going to go and eat a biscuit. Ozzy's got Mike and Ike's. I'm sure you guys can go and have a snack.
And I've got to study for an exam too.
And he's got an exam. I mean, it's absolute carnage, the broadcast team. But thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for the broadcast team for putting this stream on. And I'm sure we'll see you next time out of Croft.
For BUSR, Childan and Ozzy Vaughn, have a good one.
There is no place and no moment in history where I could stand